Hi, good morning. Welcome to Your Yoga Life with Viviane Wolf, the Facebook group for busy women who want to deepen their yoga practice. I am Viviane Wolf, and I am very sorry I scheduled this for 10:30, and it is 10:33, which means that I have wasted 3 minutes of your time. You will see that I have no makeup on today, and I have not fixed my hair. I don't have any jewelry on. And it's because I taught a class this morning and it kind of ran over a little bit, and we were looking at super cute kitten pictures, and I didn't want to shoo my students out right away, and so that made me just a little bit late. So I apologize for that. Today, in the Align Your Values little mini course that we're doing this week, today is Asteya, or non-stealing, or leave other people's shit alone. Don't steal that shit. But a lot of times people think that they have got this one nailed. Like, I know that I don't steal, I don't shoplift, I don't take my friend's stuff, I definitely don't break into homes, I have never robbed a bank, and therefore I am good. Except that, again, this is a scale, and on the scale of Gandhi and bank robbers, we actually are probably closer to the middle than we realize, because we may not be taking physical items from storefronts or from banks or from jewelry stores. We may be stealing in ways that are more subtle and actually don't seem like bad things, but they are. It's kind of like with truthfulness and telling little white lies. We think that it's okay because we can justify it and rationalize it, but deep down inside, we know we're lying. So in this particular case, the Patanjali says in the Yoga Sutras, for those who have no inclination to steal, the truly precious is at hand. I've got my little notes here, as usual. So we're going to talk about a few different ways to monitor and align with Asteya. And then I'm going to give you a little yoga pose to embody the concept of Asteya in your body. So first and foremost, for yourself, you don't want to rob yourself of the opportunity to grow organically. So a lot of times what will happen is whenever we feel the need to steal, to rob time, to do whatever, it's because we come from a place of not enough. We don't have enough. We aren't good enough, whatever. And so this comes into play whenever we are working either to lose weight or we are working to grow as a person in a skill or in a career or just in general. Whenever we start to feel like we are not good enough, we'll try to shortchange, or we'll try to jump ahead. We'll use weight loss pills, or we'll try to take the more advanced class even if we don't have a full understanding of the basics, that kind of stuff. When you deny yourself the organic process of mastery, whether it's of your body or whether it's of a skill, then you're robbing yourself. You're stealing from yourself. So allow yourself to organically grow physically into the type of body that you want. Allow yourself to grow organically into the type of career that you want, or the type of skill, playing piano, learning to dance, learning a new language, any of those things. Allow yourself the time and the process to become the master of these things. Same with weight loss. Allow yourself time to go through the procedure of losing weight naturally. So that's one way. So anytime we stay in this not enough mindset, where we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough, we're too old, we're too young, all of this stuff, this robs you of the joy of experiencing the world as it truly is. One of the things that I'm thinking about with this is whenever we have those friends who are at a party, and while we're at the party, like say it's a going away party, and while you're at the party and you're having fun, you're having a good time, there's always that one friend who's crying. And they're crying because they don't want it to be over. They're not ready for it to be done and finished. I don't want to graduate, or whatever it is. They are robbing themselves of the joy of the moment because they are worrying about the future, or they are imagining the sorrow that they're going to have tomorrow. And that is a violation of Asteya. Another way of robbing yourself is forcing yourself to be positive at all times. So what I mean by this is something that whenever you're starting your spiritual experience, you're starting your spiritual practice, and you're starting to dig into these concepts, specifically like Asteya, you start to maybe you realize that you shoplifted when you were a kid, you stole that bunny, that yellow bunny. Not really super specific for any particular reason, but so you start to beat yourself up about this because you realize that maybe you're not as good of a person as you think you are. Again, allow yourself this organic process. Allow yourself to see the mistakes that you have made. Allow yourself to go into the shadow a little bit and see things as they truly are for yourself. When you deny those, when you turn your back on the shadow and pretend like it's not there, you create this swamp of yucky, icky feelings that will not go away. They need to be addressed. They need to be processed. Otherwise, you steal overwhelming joy from yourself. Whenever you know that there is some suffering to be done and yet you ignore it, you cannot live in joy 100% because you will always have it hanging on your shoulders and behind your back. So that got a little deep and danky, but last, so you, lastly, some of it's pretty obvious. Don't steal stuff. It can be more subtle than you realize, though. Beyond, taking from a bank, beyond taking from your friends or whatnot, there's that whole thing of, I'm going to borrow the shirt, I promise I'll give it right back, when you have no intention to. Things like Rolf Gates is a big inspiration for me, and in his book Meditations from the Mat, he shares a story where he was doing a yoga retreat at a hotel, and he was trying to put up pictures or posters in the conference room, and so he borrowed a pair of scissors from the front desk. And so he had it over the weekend. He was using them constantly to do other things, and as the retreat ended, he started taking all these things down. He started packing everything up, and he packed the scissors along with all the other supplies that he had. And as he was checking out of the hotel, the clerk very calmly asked for the scissors back. And he totally had a moment where he was like, I didn't even think about these scissors as not being mine, because I had used them all weekend and I thought about how handy they were and how useful they were going to be in the future. I jumped the whole part about where they're not mine. And so of course he gave the scissors back, but it made him think about the whole idea of how many times do we take a piece of paper from a coworker, or use the last of the scissors, drink the last of the coffee without refilling the coffee, or starting a new pot. Things like that. Whenever we jump in front of people in line, whenever a cashier gives us the wrong change, gives us too much money, and we take it, even though we recognize and realize that we were given too much. Things like that, little subtle things. These are the things that we can start to become aware of, and then make decisions in the moment whether or not we want to align to Asteya and not steal that shit. So for our body to embody our Asteya, we're going to come into a little bit of a challenging pose here. So I'm going to adjust this just a little bit down so you can kind of see my mat. So Asteya is the opposite of stealing, is giving, being generous, having enough, having more than enough, being able to share. And so in this, we're going to bring our hands into an offering and bring it in front of us. So we start in our mountain pose here, And then we're going to send our right foot back behind us. And you can leave your foot planted, your toes planted here, or you can begin to hinge at the hips, lifting the heel while you extend the heart forward. Coming into warrior three. Keeping the hips in alignment, reaching the toes back. One more big breath here. And as you exhale, come on back. I'm going to turn to the other side now. Starting in our mountain pose again, we slide our left toes back. And again, you can stay here and begin to offer this forward, that's fine. Or just lift your toes a little tiny bit. This is a big balance challenge here. So be easy with yourself and allow yourself to come into your expression of this pose. Don't rob yourself of the organic process. So coming here and then offering your hands forward. Breathing deep, and then coming back. Wonderful. So tell me in the comments what your thoughts are on Asteya or non-stealing, generosity, having more than enough, feeling like you are more than enough. I thank you so much for your time. I know that time is a precious thing and it can be easily robbed. And so without further ado, until tomorrow, I bid you a great day full of joy and generosity. Namaste.